4 shows, 4 hosts, one powerhouse of paranormal and cryptid entertainment all week long. Ghost Cats and Cryptids, joining the Banter with Richie B Podcast Network every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join researcher Jean Tewskbury as she dives into the world of mountain lions, the elusive predators known as ghost cats. Jean also explores cryptids, separating fact from folklore and asking the questions others won't. Kick off your week on Tuesdays with the one and only VOGEL, host of Home of the Boom. He's diving deep into the world of cryptids, Bigfoot, and the mysteries that shake the woods. Interviews, investigations, and the loudest boom in the cryptid community. Every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fridays get a little darker and a whole lot prettier. Join Sam from Sam's Pretty Paranormal, where makeup meets the macabre. It's Sam After Dark, spooky storytelling, and her fan favorite segment, Cooking for the Dead. Tune in every Friday from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for glam, goosebumps, and all things ghoulish. And every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the flagship show returns. Banter with Richie B Live, featuring Richie B and VOGEL. From updates to investigations to wild discussions, this is the core of the network. Raw, real, and always unpredictable. Spend your Saturday evenings with the duo that started it all. 4 nights of content, 4 incredible hosts, cryptids, ghosts, glam, stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. This is the Banter with Richie B Podcast Network.
That one is just absolutely beautiful.
is that doing that? Exit. Hello, everybody. Having a little bit of issue here. It's good to see everybody. I am so excited for tonight's show. Hi, guys. I have got two amazing guests. I've known them for a little over 10 years. I am so thankful I can call them my friends. I have learned so much from them. So I know everybody's excited. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the VOGEL brothers, Tim and Eric. Oh, come on. Why is that not doing it? Poor Tim. I got Eric. There we go.
Oh, there you go, honey.
It's gone and I cut you right back off again.
There you go.
You could tell I'm not used to doing this.
That's fine.
It's okay.
Doing fine, John. Much better. I get on, I push a
I'm
button, and
lucky
I'm
I got it on.
it connects, I'm here. If it don't, we'll get you in a phone call.
No, that's what I love. I was so excited about tonight because where I know you two, I know what you guys do, what you're all about. It's just going to be a casual, just nice evening of conversation. And I'm super excited about that. So, and I thank you both for coming on. Like I had said earlier to the people in chat, I've known you guys, well, since actually October of 2015. I've hung out with you guys a couple times in 2018 and then did that expedition with you guys in 2019 where we had some really good luck there the last night that I was there. But I'm not sure how many people actually know how you guys got into it. So if you'd like to explain on how you guys got into the Bigfoot stuff, I'm sure they'd love to hear it.
Good.
Go ahead.
You.
I'm kind of, my thing is kind of bouncing in and out slow.
All right. So back in 2013, that's what really got us into it. We ended up having a Bigfoot experience in the Adirondacks in the St. Regis Wilderness Canoe area. And it's just a paddle and portage place. It's very remote. And it's just very, very, very backcountry, very remote. Not too many people access it because you have to put the effort in. You have to, paddle and portage. So if you want to go from point A to point B, you're paddling, and then maybe an hour later you're picking up all your gear, packing it, and moving it. Maybe could be 100 yards, maybe 3/4 of a mile to a couple 100 yards to a mile. In a portage, you get to another lake and you keep going, and that's kind of how we planned our trip. That's what we used to do anyway. But we had an experience out in the Adirondacks, and I think most people most people on the podcast here probably heard it. Eric and I paddled up into the short version. We paddled up into a creek, and we were fishing, and I ended up fishing up over a beaver dam. And I caught a fish, and the fish broke water, started, topping out. And these two trees started shaking like crazy. And this roaring started. And believe it or not, the roaring and the tree shaking probably went on for a good 10 minutes. And it never stopped. The two were simultaneous.
All of that.
Yeah. One without the other. They both were shaking. So it was kind of weird, we didn't know how to explain it. We were New York State licensed guides at the time. At this time, we weren't Bigfooters. We were guides. We were, we had a business to go out and outdoors, and we were leading trips, and we happened to be on vacation. And so we hadn't experienced anything like that before. The tree shaking and this roaring, this crazy, crazy roaring, yelling, screaming, all kind of wrapped up in one. And super aggressive. It got louder and louder and louder. There was, the tree shaking, things were coming out, whether it's sticks or rocks. We weren't really sure. All we saw was a lot of splashing coming towards us from the shoreline out towards the beaver dam. We were just below the beaver dam, fishing up into it. So it was a very surreal experience. We're sitting there going back and forth. What the hell is this? We were clueless. This was really different. You know, it was scary and freaky and kind of unbelievable at the same time.
It was
Is
just
it,
something that
you
we
know,
weren't used to.
the tree shaking as like it was in a snow globe, literally like it was in a snow globe. The entire forest is quiet, and these two trees were shaking like you just take a house plant and shake it. That's how aggressive these two trees were shaking. So I could see things maybe breaking off the trees and coming out towards us, things being thrown at us,
Yeah.
whatnot. But that's what was happening. We ended up, Eric, you better there? You talk, you good?
Well, it's kind
Your
of
computer?
still kind of in and out, you know.
Oh, all right. So we were
I can watch
discussing whether.
It's a little bit slow.
All right. At that point, with this tree shaking and yelling and whatnot, we were deciding whether or not we were going to continue forward or go back out. And we decided we were going back out. And we went, paddled our way back through into the lake, and we sat out in the lake for a little bit. And it finally stopped. The noise stopped. The tree stopped shaking. And everything, went quiet after about 10 or 15 minutes. And originally, we went out for fishing. We were fishing for dinner. And we didn't have anything but, a couple flies on the vest and hemostats to take the fly out of the fish. And that was really about it. And then we had this experience. And so we ended up coming back to our campsite and camping out and getting the heck out of Dodge in the first light.
That's awesome. I'm going to say hi to everybody real quick here because we've got quite a few people on. Hi, Mary. Sam's here from the amazing executive producer for the Banter with the Richie B Podcast.
Oh,
we've got Ernie Davio is here. Hi, John. Oh, big Andy's here. Awesome. Wojo is in the house. Curious Cryptids is here. Michigan Cryptids is here as well. I'm sure I've missed a few people, but it's going slow, so I know I'll catch up if I have missed anybody. Shut it, Eric.
No, thanks.
I did not say that. It says the host says shut it, Eric. I did not. Country Carpenter's here as well. So when so you guys, you guys had that experience and stuff, and then what got you like around your area doing it and everything? Because you're in Western Mass, and you guys have done a lot in the area there and stuff. What was, I know that you had your experience and stuff. Did it just kind of continue on when you got back, or?
Go ahead.
Your turn, Eric.
What am I doing here?
I think he's frozen again.
You listen very well.
What am I doing?
We were discussing, the first sighting, what happened in the Adirondacks, but then you guys are in Western Mass. What got you doing the stuff right there in your area?
Well, we actually got involved with Squatchachusetts after that incident in New York. So what we did was when we came back, we finally got a computer, which I'm still trying to figure out. But anyways, we had one, and we started digging into it a little bit more, and we found out that other people had the same experiences that we were having. So when we did a couple of expeditions, on the expeditions, we ended up having encounters. Whether it was whistles, rock throwing, orbs, and personal sightings, and one through a FLIR. We just stuck around Western Mass, and we did a little bit more digging and found out that the area that we're in is a very active area. All the way from the Connecticut line, all the way up through the Berkshires, or almost up to the Vermont line. It's almost like they follow the AT. If you looked at it on a map, that's the way it would look. And I have a map, believe it or not, Jean, that Tim and I did when we were at the RV show, the camping and RV show, and the sportsman show. And on this map, for ha-has, we started asking people about mountain lion reports and Bigfoot reports. We had more mountain lion reports in Connecticut
60.
and Mass
60 mountain lion
that we had
reports in 4 days.
that we had in all the other states. It was crazy. But from here, I don't know if you can see it.
No.
Down here next to Waterbury, all the way up through Mass, all the way through the Berkshires. These are all mountain lion reports that people have said that they've seen.
It's
So
funny
we
that
started
you mentioned the Berkshires and stuff with the mountain lion sightings because, trying to accumulate, data on sighting reports and stuff. I have talked to some people in Mass that have had sightings, but when you look it up and everything, your last known mountain lion was supposed to have been killed in 1858. But over the past decade, there have been thousands and thousands of reported sightings that go through the Berkshires.
Well,
it was fun.
2011, Connecticut had a cougar hit on the turnpike. They couldn't deny it because it was dead.
Yeah.
So they did a blood DNA test, and they traced that blood DNA test all the way back to South Dakota.
Yep.
That's where they said it came from.
It's been a year and a half traveling from South Dakota before it reached its spot in Connecticut because it went up, down, zigzagged, went back. It was just trying to find a prime location to make its habitat, and it got hit in Middleton, Connecticut.
Yeah, down on the turnpike. So they couldn't deny it. It was actually there.
Yeah, and a lot of them. Anytime you look up the states and stuff, they'll say that they come through in transit. But if you're saying it's coming through in transit, it's coming from somewhere,
Right, exactly.
All the states will say, even if they say, no, it's misidentification or something, or it is transit, they will still adamantly tell you there is no breeding population. So that's why there are no mountain lions in any of these eastern states.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a few pictures out there that'll show you cubs that are breeding out in these couple of different areas.
Several people that said that in Vermont, they have seen a mother and its kids, and in New Hampshire. So
I have in Maine. I've seen a juvenile in Maine. In my area in 2006, a woman that's probably a good 10 miles from me, still in the same town, woke up at 3 a.m. to get water, looked out her kitchen window, and there goes a mom and a juvenile. In 2018, somebody had an adult and 2 kittens run across the road in front of their vehicle. So I mean,
so that's why Tim and I started doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We had our own experience. We had one cross in front of us. We were working as ridge runners for the Appalachian Mountain Club, and we were working northwest Connecticut at a place called Sages Ravine on Jug End Road. And we had one cross right in front of us, and it was sure as plain as day. It was a full body mountain lion and a full tail, and that thing pretty near took up the whole lane that we were in. We were heading down the street, it crossed right in front of us, and it took up the whole lane pretty near. The tail, body, as it went across the street in front of us, it was 8 feet long, 9 feet long.
Yeah, it was
complete.
huge.
The tail was almost straight out as it was crossing the street. Maybe a little whip to it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you can't mistake.
Oh yeah.
When you see it, you know it. The tail's a dead giveaway.
Yep. Yeah, and the whole thing with the misidentification, they love to use bobcats. Bobcats are not the size of a mountain lion. They're not the size of a mountain lion.
No, they're not the same.
Yeah. I think they get the misidentification in that particular instance. It must be like in camera shots, stuff like that, and they're vague and they're away, and they could if their angles are right, but you don't see the tail. But, you might not miss the black or the dots on the ears or something.
Yeah,
I think it's probably where they're doing it because you won't miss calling it a mountain lion.
They're going to keep calling it a misidentification because if they were to say that they were here, the amount of laws that would be changed would be astronomical.
That's what I've been told that, but I have sat down with my state biologist, and I sat down with the former state biologist who actually had them declared extinct in 2018, although the U.S. government declared them extinct in the entire East except for Florida in 2011. but Vermont and Maine were the only ones that continued to keep that they were here, that there was a possibility until 2018 when they finally declared them extinct. And I think they did it to remove them from the endangered species list. But when I talked to both, they're like, no, nothing's changed since they've been removed, and nothing's going to change if they are here. And it's like, well, something's got to give. I mean, something has got to give.
The biologist we talked to in Maine,
but if they,
we were talking to a biologist in Maine that I won't give out anything, but he's got a few hundred different traps and cameras and things like that out. He's got hundreds of thousands of acres of property for other entities that he works with. And he has a hard time with, like this misidentification. They've yet to see anything yet, In the same token, he says that if they do find a mountain lion, then we need a sample, because if it's a mountain lion, then it's got to be if it's the eastern mountain lion and it's extinct, well, we got issues, right? So if it's living and breathing and it's down the road and they pull up a hair sample and this guy finally gets one, or we get one, then we have to prove whether it's eastern mountain lion or that DNA that's traveling. And that's what will be important to do, because you'll be able to, take the rumor right out of it. Oh, it's a traveler.
But that's hard to do, okay?
Yeah.
Because the University of Montreal, that's the scientific paper that I downloaded, where they actually were able to collect hair samples from cougars. They got 19 samples. They did the Heplo test. I did this for your Cobble Mountain Critter Festival. 9 samples came back that they were of South American descendants, which means they were most likely pets that were released into the wild. And then the other samples, though, did not come back from South America. But there was no way for them to break it down to get if they were Western or if they were Eastern, because the cat is the same cat. You can say subspecies all you want, but their DNA is the same.
That's right.
Well, that's what I was telling this guy, too. I thought the DNA was the same and subspecies were irrelevant because the DNA was the same. It was a matter of terminology and local lore, or whatever they called this thing, be it catamount or cougar or mountain lion or whatnot. It's still the same critter, be it the DNA. So that's what he was telling me. He says that would be key, because if it was eastern mountain lion, if it did come back in some fashion, then you have huge things, because it's taking something back from extinction. And now it has to be recognized. Whereas if we have a traveler, it's a little less, so we got a traveler. But if it really ended up with some DNA that had eastern mountain lion in it, which I'm sure they must have at some point, they must have some sort of DNA in a bank somewhere.
Just means it wasn't extinct.
Yeah. Well, that's what I get. I have so much trouble with this, is because they will say, it's extinct. But you can talk to any wildlife officials that are out west. They are the most elusive and hardest ones to track. They have to use dogs in order to find. Wyoming will tell you, if you have a sighting in a town and they go investigate and it's not there, they can follow tracks but after a while you're not going to find anything, because they use trees. It's very hard to track them, and they are extremely elusive. And it's like, so you have a sighting.
Right up there with Bigfoot. Just like New England's elusive creatures.
Exactly.
They're right up there. It's just, we started doing the library talks and stuff like that. And the more we started talking with people, there were more reports. And that's why we kind of wanted to help out with you, because we saw you doing it up in in Maine and working. I'm like, this is a huge New England. And we've got a ton of reports right here. So we'll just partner up with you and we'll just take reports. And, until you give us something like really definitive you want us to say, we're taking generalized reports, locations, your basic information.
Yeah, we're just passing them on.
Because a lot of the reports we get are older reports. So how much weight we put into that is, and here's how we judged our authenticity of the report.
It's just like Bigfoot.
While we're live at the hunting show, or one of these sportsman shows or something. We simply reach out into the audience, the public as they're walking by. Hey, did you see a mountain lion before? You got all the posters up and all that. So they're already looking and they see Bigfoot and they think you're wacky.
That's what we do.
And then you ask them if they've ever seen something or had an experience. And then, they just, so when you ask them specifically about the mountain lion, if they had the experience, they walked right up to the table. They told you exactly where it was, when it was, everything they needed to know. And that tail.
They walked right to the map and pointed to the map.
Yeah. So when they came up to the mountain lion, you could almost tell their authenticity. Not that it was relevant or not, but I mean, if they're going to sit there and BS you, just keep walking. Why give you the time of day, But they would come up and say, yeah, dude, it was right here, boom, boom, boom. And, my wife was with me or my buddy or we were hunting or this, that, or the other thing. And, so we ended up with those shows, I think, are 3 or 4 days long. Yeah. So let's say we did 8 days of canvassing the audience. I think we had 30,000 people each show. There was a lot of different people. And we ended up with 60 mountain lion reports and 4 Bigfoot reports. That was just casual talk off the side. And that was a small percentage of people that we were able to physically contact and say, hey, talk to us. So, but our seminars that went to those different, those large venues. Yeah, it was really cool because there was genuine interest in the topic. And there was, it's all walks of life, even though it was a hunting show or the sportsman show, there's very like-minded people. And, we thought we'd get a lot of the naysayers and, the badger types and this and that. And no, not even close. We were welcomed. We were kind of, they laugh and they scoff and they kind of poke fun. And that's cool. And we're talking Bigfoot, have fun with it. So I don't care if they walk by and giggle about Bigfoot. I really don't care. You
get used to it after a while.
How many people? You'd be surprised how many people would walk by. They kind of laugh, but by the time they left the show, they come back and they talk to you.
Yeah, a ton of them.
They would absolutely talk to you.
Yep. It's amazing. And then we didn't really have a couple naysayers, and that was really about it. A lot of people tried to with the Bigfoot piece. We had a number of people try to put it in the biblical thing with fallen angels and that whole thing, which is a really interesting concept in itself, if you look at that. And then they went from, the evolutionary methods with, Gigantopithecus and all that kind of stuff in that flow. And then, they would ask me and I would just say, well, I think it's just a Bigfoot. There is no thing, a goldfish is a goldfish, a horse is a horse, and a Bigfoot's a Bigfoot. There's none of this going on. It either is what it is or it ain't, and that's what it is. Now, so in my mind, I think it's kind of flesh and blood, but I listen to a lot.
I believe that I do too. It's flesh and blood until it's not.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, dude. You're absolutely right. We listen to stories from people all over the place, and there's a lot of interdimensional thought, the star approach, universal, alien. There's a whole thing out there, and we've witnessed it right here on this network with the Lights in the Woods with Richie's show. And VOGEL out there and the brightness, shining out and, almost blinking or moving. And it's been weird. There's some weird stuff. And to deny people their right to say what it is kind of silly because we've seen.
When you're a no, how can you say to somebody that, no, what you're saying isn't true? I mean, I never expected to see it. So why would I say that you didn't see, No way. Right. There's too many things. I mean, between the orbs and the Bigfoot,
the shimmering
and everything else that goes on.
The predator.
Yeah, the shimmering. We have had so many we have had so many people come up to us and talk to us, and we just came back from New York, up at the Adirondack Johns, up at the Adirondack Bigfooting thing that he just had, and we had people come up and talk to us about that, the shimmering,
cloaking, shimmering.
So,
Yep. I've had reports of it, and I mean, I have never seen it, but I've had people report that and stuff, and
it's a hard pill to swallow.
How can you say they
everybody
didn't
tries to humanize every experience, and you can't humanize it.
I
mean, granted, you experienced it, but it's hard to explain that shimmering cloaking effect. It's hard to put it into words. It's like when we were up there and that thing was roaring at us. Dude, I've never, ever, ever heard anything like that in my entire life. Ever.
Yeah.
Until that day. And then a second time when you were in Savoy, and we went back the following day to cast that track.
Yep.
And we heard it on top of the mountain.
We went back that afternoon.
And it was almost a mirror image of that yell, scream. Yeah, that was kind of bizarre.
Yeah, it was. That was crazy.
But that whole shimmering thing,
I'll never forget.
Yeah, I know it. Ronnie LeBlanc was the first guy I heard talk about this shimmering effect or cloaking effect or whatever it was, a disappearing thing. And then that was the first time I heard of it. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of weird. How do you wrap your head around this? You try to picture everything and you can't because it's not actually there.
You're
and then Eric and I are going through, and we're in Pittsfield at the Anthemium, the Berkshire Anthemium. We're in Agawam. We're out here in this one and that one in Dalton. All these different places doing talks. And these people are coming up, young and old, and they're talking about shimmering and cloaking. Stuff that has never even thought, I've never even thought about. These people are experiencing. So
when we were at the Pittsfield Library, I had a grandmother and her granddaughter standing side by side. One was facing a little bit to the left, the other one was facing the right. Young girl, the granddaughter, saw the Bigfoot. When she said something, the grandmother turned her head, and all she said she saw was shimmering. She said it moved and shimmered away. Yeah. Two people standing
almost
in the
like sunlight on the lake, on a Ripley Lake, shimmering is kind of what they said.
Yep.
Yeah, it was bizarre. My wife and we were in Pennsylvania in last September. We went down with Craig Paulson. He has the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Research Organization. Mm-hmm. And we were invited down and to spend a weekend with him and their outing down there. And I won't mention the place, but we went to a state forest, and it's loaded with state forests. It's so much land down there. It's not even funny. Pennsylvania is huge. Yeah. So we're down there, and it's big country, and we're at our campground, and we're doing our typical campground thing. Everybody's shooting the bull, sitting around a campfire and whatnot. And one of the group decided they were going to walk off, and I heard something first, and it was across the way, and I kind of blew it off. One of the other guys heard it. We blew it off. We mentioned it, and a couple of the ladies that were with us, they got up and they went over, and they started walking around over there. And then a couple more people disappeared from our group, and they went over there. And then all of a sudden, one of the guys came back and said, "Hey, guys, you got to come over here. We think we got eye glow." I'm like, "What? Eye glow? I don't even know what eye glow is." We typically called it eye shine. And now, after you hear this is why I call it eye glow. And anyway, so we walk up and we get out of our campsite. We walk out to this road, and it's a state road. It's down in the state park. There's no one down there. And we had walked this section of woods the day before. There's nothing in the woods. It's all woods. And we walk right up to the wood line, right up to the edge of the road. And you could see these lights coming on and off and blinking and moving. And sometimes they were red, a couple times they were green, and most of the time they were white. And they moved. They went up and down. They got bright. They got dim. And all of us, I think there were 6 of us, my wife included, weren't shining a flashlight at all. This light was coming from them on their own. And we walked up the street and they followed us. And we walked back and they followed us. and they were emitting this eye glow, and it changed up and down, and it was in various places throughout our walk and talk. We would talk to it, and they would get brighter. They got. It was a very, it wasn't. It was very cool, actually. It was just something I had never experienced before. And then to have Kim, my wife, experience it, to see it as well, was very cool. And
That's
it was.
cool. Yeah, that
we
is
also
cool.
got a. I don't remember her name, Lavana. I don't remember her last name, but she pulled a cast out of the creek bed or the lake bed that was down in there. And it was a trackway. It was good trackway, and you could see other tracks in there in the area, but this was a definite nice foot track. And so we got a cast out of that. There was a section where there was some stick structures down there. It's definitely a place I would go back to for activity. It was excellent. And this eye glow, that's who gave me the eye. This woman named Sherry and Lavana. Sorry. Anyway, they were terming it or coining it the words eye glow, which at that point made perfectly good sense. None of us were shining lights, and this was coming. And it was there was no ATVs out there or nothing. And this was within 80 to 100 yards probably. And we walked in, and they kept this distance from the roadside out, and we didn't see anything other than that. So it was just kind of cool.
Yeah. Curious had put up a comment there saying, with the sightings and stuff, everybody has, sees their own, and their sightings should just be, listened to and not, kind of, I guess a lot of people get the ridicule and stuff. And I think with you guys doing what you're doing is great because, you're listening and stuff, because a lot of times people won't, share their stories and stuff and like with the whole shimmer thing, people already think you're crazy if you've seen a Bigfoot. Now you're saying, oh, I've seen one, shimmer, cloak like a predator, and then all of a sudden, wow, okay, Looney Bin, dude, Looney Bin.
Absolutely, 100%.
And you should have to feel that way. You should be able to tell your story. And I think it's great what you guys do, allowing that. And that's what I try to do here with the big cat sightings. I do it with the Bigfoot as well. Because that's what I started most of my research with and everything. Martin wants to know what the color was. Did it stay the same color? Or did it switch up? I think he means with a glow.
The eye glow. The eye glow was in different places, and it was sometimes it was up high, could have been a tall one. They were red, and then it was green, and then it was white. So there were multiple eyes in different areas, up, down, and on the ground, and they were all moving. And as we walked up the road, it kind of followed us up the road, and then we walked back. It walked back, and we'd never really shined some light. We might have shined a light in there once or twice, but we didn't really need it because whatever was doing it on its own. Yeah. So there was the colors were red, green, and white. They got bright. They got dim.
Thanks for stopping in.
Self-adjusting maybe, and the rest were some blinked like. It was a very cool experience. I'd never seen it like that.
Awesome. So when did you guys start doing the library talks? How long have you been doing those for?
Oh boy. Was it 2 years? 3 years?
3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years. Matter of fact, we have another one coming up in West Stockbridge.
Yeah.
Nice up near the New York line. We're
so what got you guys going to do the library talks?
We were asked, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, we were asked to do the library talks.
Yeah, we were.
And then one led to the next, and it kind of morphed from there.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, our first one was a local library.
Yeah, when we did the first one, we got asked a lot of questions, and we thought, maybe there's a lot of people out there that are interested, and they want to. Tim and I do a library, so they'll come to us. And if they see us coming to them and telling our story, and we're coming out to talk to them, I mean, they already think that we're crazy to begin with, but we're telling them a story that makes them feel more comfortable, and that's why they open up to us.
Yeah.
We had a woman over at the Sportsman Show after we did our seminar talk. She didn't come and she didn't want to talk to us about it. She didn't tell us where it was. By the time she left that show, I got her address, I got where she was, and she sent me an email wanting to get together to go out to her, because she just listened to what we were talking about, and she knew that we would listen to her. You know, we weren't going to call her a crazy person or anything else. You know, we were interested
her husband
in the
was
story.
doing enough of that.
Yeah, I know it.
No, there
Yeah,
is one
her
of the
husband,
first.
he was funny.
Yeah, one of the first gentlemen I helped back in 2016, Mr. Seeger and stuff. He was so thankful, you know, because I went out and I checked out his property. He did have a lot of strange stuff, and over the years I went back and we were able to find tracks and different stuff. But he was so thankful, and all he kept doing was going, "Thank you. Now I don't feel crazy. Now I don't feel crazy." You understand? And it was like, yeah, you know, because no, I don't think anybody should. Yes, there have been people that I've talked to that, I'm sorry, but when you're downloading Google Maps and there's bushes and you're like, there's one hiding there and one hiding there and one hiding, okay, you know, I'm still going to be polite. Yes. Okay. You know, but it's like,
and you know,
there's a lot of
there's
it out
people
there.
that see this stuff. That we had just the other day, I had somebody come over with their laptop, put their laptop in the middle of my face and say, "You see it? It's right there. It's right there. It's right there." I like you say, "Oh, well, you know, there's good possibility there's something there," but to be honest, I'm just not seeing it. And you know, I look at it, I'm thinking, well, most of us would just say, okay, woo-hoo, she's off her rocker, because there's nothing there. There's not even a red circle. But yeah, there could be potentially in this wacky world
be
these
something
frequencies.
there.
People see different frequencies, and maybe they see something I'm not seeing. I know it's out there, but here we are in the land of Bigfoot and other stuff. So why not? You know, maybe they see something you're not quite seeing. And you know, when they're adamant and say, dude,
I understand. I mean, I've had somebody bring in their laptop with their photo and stuff, and I'm not seeing what they're seeing and stuff, but I may see something different than what they're seeing, and I'm pointing it out, you know, and they're like, but I don't see that. I'm seeing this, you know, so you kind of communicate back and forth, you know, on what could possibly be there.
No, you said that's the key. Communicate, you know, getting that.
That's
these
what
little
we're doing
nuances on between the Bigfoots or the mountain lions or aliens or UFOs, all these little nuances we talk about could be relevant to somebody else somewhere else. You know, you might say something and somebody in Somerville is going to say, "Oh, wow, hey, that happened to me. Whoa, wait a minute. That was like us." And there's like, "Hey, remember that?" It's like, so you know, the conversations might spark conversations elsewhere just by sharing information. It's
opening the door.
And we've talked about that before.
Yeah, we have.
You're opening the
I
doors
didn't share a whole lot of what I was doing. You know, I would talk to you guys and stuff, but I found that it's in order to actually help anybody, you do have to share. You know, you do have to you do have to be able to communicate and stuff, and that's what I like about.
You have to do it with an open mind.
Yeah, you do. You do. I mean, yes, you're still going to get ridiculed at times. You know, you just got to deal with it. You know, and stuff. I just look and go, you know, you have what you understand.
Exactly.
You know, this is what I do. So I've gotten past all that and stuff. And yes, I've had some issues with people trying to take credit for what I'm doing. So I kind of back away from that a little bit, but you guys know that too. So, you know, it's just one of those things that's, you know, but I think that what we've got going on here, with the Cobble Mountain, you know, Critter Festival, with the conglomeration with Richie and Ernie and everybody that was there and others, to be able to communicate and bring this information all together, you know, to help each other out is great.
Yeah.
And
you know, working on that, you know, we call it a database. It's not really maybe a database. It's just a bank of information. Where wouldn't it be cool if you had a question, you could go to this bank of information and ask it a question, and it spits you out a couple of results that have been inserted by other researchers. You know, could be hair colors. You know, we were just discussing the other day on translucent hair and how Bigfoots could be different colors, or how could it shimmer, or this or that. You know, you look at all these birds that have iridescent feathers, hummingbirds that, you know, the sunlight will go through and hit different, almost in a prism effect, how they're different. There's so much we don't even know on that aspect of it, on the shimmer portion of it. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe this light comes through it. It shimmers like a prism effect, and that's what they're actually witnessing as it transverses in front of them, or whatever it's doing.
And that's just one of it, you know. Shimmering's just one thing.
I know.
I mean,
but
you've got
having
the black
the information,
hole, you've got where they just step off and they're gone into a whole nother realm and things like that. I mean, who's to say that doesn't actually happen? How can you get, for instance, how can you get a 9-foot creature that's 4 feet wide or bigger? You got to weigh in at around 800-900 pounds. How come you only get 1 or 2 prints? You know, you would think that you would get more than that, you know.
You would think.
And you don't. And sometimes you don't even get the one.
That almost why people consider the woo effect and this interdimensional, you know, because you should have a trackway. By rights, you should have 10, 12, 14, 15, maybe 30 tracks, maybe more.
You would think.
But no, we're lucky if we get 1 or 2 or a half a dozen. Half a dozen in October Mountain State Forest.
And I know New England is ground. Yeah, New England's hard ground, but we can still get a track.
Yeah.
It's got to be right. You know, it's situational.
Well, we did the expedition together in 2019, okay? Like I said that last night that I was there, we had some good stuff happen, okay? And from what I was told, I talked to Eric later on through Messenger, you know, and he was like, we went back, we found absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm trying to figure out how in the heck that could happen with what happened to us on that mountain.
Isn't that crazy?
I would say
there's no way that there should be no imprint on the side of that cliff. The way it hit that side of that cliff, there should have been an imprint, and there wasn't.
We all came up off of wherever we were. I was on the ground. I think
I was on my elbows and my butt.
Tim was on the ground.
Yeah. And there was and you were on a rock, and I don't know if Rob was on a rock or your son was on the rock there, Eric, but you shot right up, and literally that's why I didn't sit so close, because I mean, it was a drop off behind you. So I was like, I'll sit right on the ground. I'm good there and stuff. But so that was insane.
That was crazy.
Set the tone for the people that don't know, we're on an expedition, and this is one of the last nights. And we had we went into a place called Sanderson Brook Falls, and we broke up into different groups. We had Team Canada with Terry Boyd and his guys up on the top of the mountain, and then we had Kevin and his wife Vivian. They were in the middle kind of the mountain, and we were almost in the beginning of the base of the foot, right after the falls. Yeah. And we were sitting right at the top of the falls with the what?
Kevin and his wife recorded everything.
Yes, they did. He got the whole thing.
Kevin Ramiro.
Yeah,
I believe is his last name, Ramiro.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had what I considered my very first infrasound experience, and I believe that's exactly what that was. I think the rock, we were sitting, like she said, we had a group, we were sitting on a fire road, and literally sitting on the fire road, and there's the downside where the waterfall is, there's a cliff, there's a fire road, and then there's another cliff that goes up. So it's literally a little cutout fire road. There's no easy way up or down anything in this area, in this one particular spot where the waterfall is. And I was on my elbows, my butt, laying on the fire road, looking up, kind of with, talking with everybody. And we heard a rock coming down from the top of the mountain, and it was rolling and crashing down the mountain. And all of us had a physical reaction. I couldn't get up fast enough off the ground to get out of the way of this rock coming.
Yeah, we all heard it. There was no doubt. It was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
And
at
then
least
it
we
stopped,
thought
right?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just upset me because, you know, Tim's like, all right, let's go back to what we were doing. You're like, I'm not sitting on that rock. I'm not sitting on that rock. And I'm like, come on, you got me squatch bait.
Yes.
When
Yeah.
that
So we
thing-
sat back down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when that
We
thing
sat
hit
back
behind
down.
me, that was crazy. That was
Yeah.
like a boulder hitting the side of that mountain. It was crazy. And when we turned the lights on and when we went back, there was no rock, no stick, no leaves moved. There was nothing. And everybody heard it.
And everybody had a physical reaction. We all literally got ourselves back up again, you know,
It
off
was
the ground.
crazy.
And we
That
had
was a
to
wild
move from
night.
this rock. Yeah. Zero.
And I believe
Zero
that's the
count.
same night that Team Canada had that white orb or that sun.
No. That
And
was
they were talking about
in
that
October
when we came
Mountain.
back. No,
That was
up
October
near the
Mountain.
chimney? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was October Mountain.
That was a good place to be. That was one that was close to us. You know, that was not even far from the camp.
Yeah, so that's what I would consider my first experience with infrasound. You know, I didn't get sick or anything like that, and you know, any nausea or anything like that. But I heard something. I had a physical reaction to it, and I heard it twice. I had physical reaction twice, and the group did as well. So we heard it. We just can't explain it.
No, there's nothing.
No,
was
even
insane.
Kevin
It was
couldn't do that.
Absolutely insane. Because before the rocks started coming down there, because Eric and I forgot our freaking tree knockers and stuff. So I was like, we could use rocks, and you're like, yeah, why don't you take 2 rocks and smack them together? So I go to smack the rocks, and you're like, rocks, and I'm like, I haven't hit them yet, and you're like, no, and you flung me around, you know, real quick, and you're like, rocks, because they were coming down, and I was like, oh, I had no clue.
Yeah, that was a crazy night. That was pitch black. You couldn't see the person standing in front of you.
No.
Yeah. Very cool experience, though.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that is there was a group of us standing there when it all happened.
Yeah, it's 5
There had to
people.
be 5 or 6 of us standing there.
Yeah, I think there was 5 of us. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it wasn't just 1 or 2. There were 5 people that happened to.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any other seminars coming up or talks coming up?
Yes, we do. We have a
Yeah.
talk coming up in next month up in Fulton, New York. Up at I'm trying to think.
It's called
of the name
Big
of it.
Fest.
Big
It's called
Fest.
Big Fest.
Yeah,
In Fulton, New York.
Fulton, New York. So we're going up there, and we're going to do a talk up there. We just did the one about a week ago up in
Lake George.
Lake George.
Yeah.
We just did one up in there, and we have in May we have another library coming up in West Stockbridge.
That and a
So
camp out. We're supposed to be going to
keeping ourselves
Virginia.
pretty busy. Yep.
Yeah.
Are you guys going down to Virginia for that one there?
We're supposed to be. I believe we're scheduled for it.
Yeah.
Unless something
Right.
changes down there, I don't think we'll. we're
Yeah,
going.
right.
The host wants you, and it's not me, it's Richie. He's behind the scenes to show the cast.
That's Eric. He's got the cast.
Yeah,
Oh,
he said
geez.
Eric
All
get
right,
out
hang
and
on.
show the cast.
Yeah, Eric's the keeper of the casts.
He's repeated it several times, so I need to
Oh, wow.
make sure that I got that out there. And he's actually got it up on the bottom now, so you guys could see it too.
Thanks, Richie.
And nope, it's Jean. It isn't Richie, it's Jean. Yeah, okay.
All right, here we go.
I don't need to yell at him through a computer. I can just yell at him this way.
That's right. The cast that I've got here is the one that myself and Tim and Richie and Wojo went up to October Mountain. Now, the way that this all happened was the four of us got into a discussion on tree structures and things like that, and how we have a hard time with them, and they're more acceptable to them. So we area, and when they came out to October Mountain, they realized why we say that we have such a hard time, because they were everywhere if you looked at them, and Mother Nature and storm damage does some incredible things. So we got up to Felton Pond and we went for a walk and whatnot. And it was, the water was really low along the pond. So we started walking through. Wojo and I were down along the water. And Richie and Tim were up coming through towards us, coming at us in the other direction. And as we're walking down, there was a tree laying across from the water, about 15 feet out onto the shoreline. And we went to step over the tree. And when we did, this is what we found. Now, this is the front side of it. This is the side that we that you would see if you were looking at it on the ground. This is what we got when we pulled it out. I'm trying to. There you go.
Yeah.
That's there, right there.
Yeah, that's very clear.
You see that?
Yeah. You see the toes and everything.
17 and a half inches long by 8 something across.
Yeah. 5-inch heel.
Yeah, 5-inch heel. Now, you see that little divot right here? In that divot was this rock, and this is a thick rock. This rock is about 2.5 inches thick all the way around. The pressure that this footprint made slides right over that rock. And when we pulled this out of
the rock came with it. It looks like he
it.
froze up.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, the
That's
rock
right.
came with it. In that little dentation, this rock came with it. And that was in there just like that.
And wasn't it Wojo, the master fire builder, who fought it or saw it? Maybe he did fight it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But didn't he see the track, or did you see the track?
Yeah, we had. Well, him and I came over together, so I guess we'd say we both found it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wojo says that you guys found other tracks too.
Yeah, there were other tracks, and there were multiple other variations of tracks within the.
Well, the next
was
track from this one. Wait a minute. The next track from this one would have been 51 inches away, up 1.5 feet onto a straw base. I get a lag in my thing. So it was like 51
all right.
inches
I'm
away.
laughing at Richie. He's putting all kinds of ways, and I'm glad you grabbed that rock, because Richie was like, "Where's the rock?"
No, it's not a double bear print. And again, a lot of people talk about tracks and double steps and this and that. When you're talking bear prints, the large toe digit is on the outside of the track where our pinkies are. Their big toes would be more for a balance issue. So if you Google black bear foot dynamic or whatever, you're going to find out that the big foot or the big toe is on the outside. He holds up that track again. This big toe is on the inside of the track, and it's certainly not the outside.
No.
And there's some splay.
This is the left foot, by the way.
Probably old and a little bit weathered as well. A little bit.
It's the left
it was
foot,
protected by the tree. It was like right after the tree. The guy or the Bigfoot stepped right after the tree. Literally.
It was the step after.
Yeah.
So we ended up with a great track out of that.
Out of that one there, we sent it out to Dr. Meldrum, rest his soul, and he sent us back, a text via messenger to me, And, we send them a number of different things for clarification. And when we send it, we don't send it with any story. We just say, hey, Doc, check this out. Tell us what you think. And he gives us his 10 cents and we take it for what it's worth. And he got this one in particular. And he said, hey, guys, this one here is really good. You have something promising with this one. It has a lot of potential. So, then it's, he didn't verify it yet, but, now that's never going to happen. Having said that, the history, the place, our experiences in the prior years,
and it's not the first time.
Yeah, it has its
because
own
we
history
had
of
other
Bigfoot.
incidents up there.
Yeah, and so when we went back the next day to cast that track, you could actually see 3 other tracks that were in the water. Mind you, this is during a drought, and the water line has recessed from the edge of the grass line 10, 15 feet, and you could see tracks in the water. And then a couple come out, but they were tampered,
Right.
They were stepped on, they were washed out, filled in. They weren't even worthy of a red circle. But they were there. You could tell that they were there in line with the other one. They were just washed out. And then it steps out after that cast that Eric and Wojo got onto the grass. And like you said, that's an uphill step, I don't know, maybe a foot and a half, and 5, almost 6 feet away. So it's quite the stride coming off of the soft bank up into the grass. It was good stride. No one, regular is going to be making that size track.
Gene, revered that the Native American tribes learned to communicate with. That's true. They did.
Yep.
Did you hear that? Okay. That's true that they did.
I have anybody thinks that they're a legend or an expert is seriously challenged between their ears.
Yeah.
Oh, no one's an expert.
No, nobody's an expert. I don't like when somebody says, "Oh, I got to talk to we were told you're an expert." No, I'm not an expert. I'm knowledgeable, but I am not an expert.
The only guy I know that's come close to communication is Ernie Davero, and his story, as you know,
the Native Americans always said that they could talk with Sasquatch, with the Bigfoot. I have a woman that's out in Ohio. She's Shawnee Indian. Her father has talked to him, she said, with Bigfoot. They used to leave tobacco. Her first sighting was when she was 6 years old. And her father told her not to worry about it. Just keep picking the roots, and off they went. But she has had other interactions. She believes that they call them the watchers, but she believes that they watch over where she is all the time. She is she's been in a hot spot, I would say. She has a lot of things going on up in that area of Ohio. They've had big investigations.
That whole weird Ohio Triangle thing. The whole weird Ohio
I believe they've always communicated with the Native Americans. Always.
Well, just like we experienced infrasound, they might be able to telepathically communicate. We know Ernie had some sort of a sign language interaction with them. So we know that Native Americans for communication.
Native Americans still did that. That's how they communicated when they first saw the white men. They had to use sign language until they figured out what they were saying.
Yeah, charades until somebody died.
Yeah. So I mean, I believe that I believe that they do communicate with them, or they did. Absolutely. And Ernie will tell you the same. His story is amazing.
Yeah, his story is absolutely amazing. And he is just so knowledgeable, and he just loves to discuss the topic and just, give insight. When at that Cobble Mountain Curta Festival, I could have listened to him talk constantly because he was just a wealth of knowledge. I do remember when we went out that night, though.
That's because he had that experience, and you can't forget that. Yeah, no. I mean, it's entirely different. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, when we were at Cobble Mountain there and stuff, you guys stayed back, but the rest of us went out for a while and there was some weird stuff going on. But Ernie looked at me. He was so funny. He's like, hey, he says, I think that there's a chance we might be getting flanked. He said, would you feel comfortable walking up that dirt road by yourself and then stop and wait a minute and turn around and come back? He said, are you going to be scared? And I just took right off. He just thought, oh, okay, never mind. It's like, no, I'm into this, let's go. Right.
Well, this whole communication thing, that's almost impossible to work on as a research thing. The only way you get information is if other people talk about their interaction, and if it was a similar type. Right. You may have a very, very, very unique.
You got to get out and listen to the stories.
Yeah, but that's the only way you're going to find it is people got to share that story. Otherwise, it's going to sit and go to the grave with whoever. There's no one talking about communicating.
You got to get those people to open up.
Yeah. And well, I think that's what you guys are doing, though. Like you said, you do these seminars, you do these library talks. People, will either come to you or they'll go by and check stuff out. And like you said, you had a few people kind of chuckle and stuff, but then turn around and come back later and discuss this stuff. And I think that helps, out a lot with people that are just uncomfortable discussing the topic and everything.
Yeah.
And so it's good that they have, people like you to talk to. And others, Richie's very open about, hey, you want to discuss the stuff, reach out. I'm willing to talk, and I'm the same way. And I think that that's what we need is more people that are willing to listen, just listen to what people have to say.
Tim and I will do a 2-hour library talk from 6 to 8, and we'll end there until 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, afterwards they have to throw us out of the building for the alarms, but in the parking lot, you get all these cool stories, and people just are willing to share. Some people leave because there's too many people, and they're not going to get their story in. It's an amazing topic. It's amazing that many people are interested. We're doing a library show in West Stockbridge. I think it's in May, and the ladies already said they have to do, get a bigger building already. And this is Bigfoot. It's certainly not Eric and I. It's the Bigfoot.
Yeah, they actually moved it. They've actually moved it from the town hall to Historical Society building.
Yeah.
They needed a bigger room.
It is the topic of Bigfoot, but you two are the ones that are actually listening to these people, and their stories. Okay. There's not many people that do that,
True. That's true.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
It's just mind blowing that our world isn't so small. We think of it as our friends here on Facebook. There's a whole outside community, and that's what Eric and I have been really doing is getting involved with the community as Bigfooters. Our local town up here, our chief of police, we're really good friends with.
John.
The police department. We were involved with the, with our fundraisers from the festival. We're buying we're buying pine trees, and they're going to be handed out at the Russell Family Fun Day. There's 4 or 5, maybe 600 trees, depending on what we can get, and that's what we're going to be handing out for free. So the monies we made, selling T-shirts at a library or stickers, we're not making money and retiring on this stuff. It doesn't even go to gas tank. It goes right back to the printer, or it goes right back to buy some more merchandise to sell, so we can send a kid to camp, or we can give away some fishing poles, or send somebody to a first aid class, something like that. And that's what we're doing. So we're involved in town.
To do with the outdoors.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted you guys to kind of finish up with, because we're already over 7, but I don't mind if you want to stick around a little bit. But could you explain like the Cobble Mountain Critter Project and how that came about? Because I think it is like a wonderful, wonderful thing, getting youth back into the outdoors and stuff. But I want you to explain it because you'll do better than I will.
So the Cobble Mountain Critter Project started off simply Eric and I wanted to continue investigating Bigfoot in New England and focus here in Western Mass. So we started our own thing, got away from all the groups and focused on our own thing and started our own business, a legit business. It's registered, it's got a number and the whole deal. So we started it off because we wanted to, first off, go Bigfooting. And secondly, when you do a business with Bigfooting, we wanted to do other things. And getting our backstory is youth outdoor education and adventure education, climbing, canoeing, teaching about the watershed, leave no trace,
Right.
and all that youth outdoor or outdoor in general. And that's where we were taking this. So we were mixing Bigfoot with outdoor education, and we now use Bigfoot as the vehicle to push how to use the watershed properly, from rock climbing to kayaking to canoeing to camping. So we promote the watershed with the leave no trace values via Bigfoot, and that's how we're doing it through our youth outdoor ed. And then we
It's
do
easier
our
to get to the
research.
kids through that.
Right. And then, so when we did the Cobble Mountain Critter Festival, or we do a book, library show, those
Right.
monies go right into, that pool of money. And it's going into the next event. It's going to send in, somebody to, like I said, somebody to first aid CPR class.
Yeah.
It's going to, we'll do a free homeschoolers program on fire building and shelter building, working with the kids. It could be any number of outdoor
Anything to get
education
that phone out of their
programs.
hand.
Yeah, right. And so that was kind of what we did with it. And then we just it kind of morphed and got big. And, you can't, there was no money to be made in Bigfooting. But how do you make money in Bigfooting? Well, you really don't. But we decided we were going to do the festival. So we decided to get the festival. We invited a bunch of people we knew. We had 12 speakers, including yourself, come down and volunteer their time and energy. And all that, whatever we made that weekend went straight into outdoor education. It's sitting right now in a bank account, getting spent little by little. And that's how we're doing it. You've seen it online where kids are winning fishing poles. You got a CPR class. And now we're doing a big bulk thing with trees. So, if anybody's interested in donating funds and stuff to help with trees and purchasing that stuff,
or help sponsor.
We'll take it
off.
Yeah. It's an expensive endeavor. It's a lot of money to put a whole town worth, a festival and give them all free trees. Everybody who comes gets a free tree. Yeah. And that's all.
The more you can make, the more you can do.
So if somebody wanted to donate, how would they donate?
Contact Eric and I, and, basically it would be a check or a PayPal kind of a thing like that. We're not really set up for, big donations.
Yeah.
Go to Cobble Mountain Critter, contact me through a PayPal, and it would be all the receipts and stuff like that you would need, you would get as well. And like I said, that monies that would be going to fund our trees and outdoor education programs.
And if you can, follow us on Facebook, the Vogel Brothers. Catch us on Instagram whenever I can get to it, or catch us on the Cobble Mountain Critter.
Yes, right there.
Now, I hear you guys talk about the festival a lot. I see you're wearing the shirt. The festival will happen in 27. It's not this year. This year, we're going to do a what they call a researcher rendezvous. We're going to invite a bunch of people down in September. I think it's 25, 26, 27. That weekend, I think. So anyways, we're going to contact a bunch of people, get together back down here where we held the festival. And we might open it up to outside the researchers to, folks who want to purchase a tent site or something like that. And it's just going to be a weekend of sharing of information. No vendors, nothing like that. Not a festival event. It's a weekend of sharing information. Our story, your story, sharing information, sharing stories. And then, hopefully we get a wide range of people from all over Pennsylvania, Virginia, Tennessee, stuff like that.
I love that new logo. When did you guys decide to add the mountain lion to it?
3 years ago, when we started doing the libraries, we kept hitting, we were hitting the Bigfoot talks, and we would get hit with mountain lions, and we literally would have more mountain lions than Bigfoot. So we decided that's when we wanted to talk to you and say, hey, let us be your southern counterpart, and we'll just take mountain lion reports so you can just have a cumulative total. What it's worth, I don't know, but you'll end up with a total.
You can actually set up a trackway.
Yeah,
You actually fall.
Yeah, that's what these maps up here from New York State, and I have one for Maine where I've been doing the sightings and trying to find a trackway to see if there's a certain amount of sightings that happen within so many years, because yes, if we have one that goes through or whatever, or say that there's juveniles or something, you're going to have multiple over certain time periods and stuff, and that's what I've got. It's behind.
Well, when you can put a pin in the map or digital pin or whatever you're using, it when you have 60 or 70 accounts in just a short time, imagine if you get 100 or 300 and you start putting those pins, you're going to see a pattern. And as research, that's what you're looking for.
Trackway that you're looking.
You're looking for patterns and similarities, things like that. And that's what this is doing. It's rudimentary. It's question and answer, and it's a pin in a map. It's just pretty pragmatic, but it works. And it could show you almost a trackway or a potential pathway. And that pathway could be used in a variety of different things, be it, I don't think we have big herds.
You're gonna pop in.
I don't think they run around in herds in their big migration, so we don't have that kind of stuff. But migratory routes, you might get something like that, and you might find these patterns. So
that's what I'm trying to find. Different stuff. There he is. I was waiting. He said he felt cute and might show up.
I meant to their VOGEL fire lessons class that they're gonna have.
Master class.
Oh, master class. Is he gonna have somebody prompt up blowing on the fire for him first? Like I seem to remember.
I don't know.
I'm thinking it's more of a big blacksmith bellows.
I think they're looking for him out west, by the way.
Oh, Wojo? What's he saying? Wojo?
Him in his fire building.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to be working for you guys and teaching all the kids how to build a fire. I can't wait to see that. He's going to be like, this is a lighter.
All I got to say is put it in your pack. Don't leave home without a lighter.
Yeah, I have a lighter. I have a lighter in our bag. We both have lighters now. I was always bad with having. What do you carry when you guys go out to your mountains? Actually, can I ask the last question of the night? What do you go when you go out to the mountains? What do you guys do? You guys drive way out there. We've been out there with you because that track is one of the most amazing tracks we'll ever see, and it's so unique.
It's very cool.
It was awesome. It
was
cool. Great having all four of us there, kind of point out little things to that, and you could see the separation from the sand and the rock, and trying to figure out which direction it went in afterwards. You know what I mean? And we kind of saw that clump down and like in the grass, and it was like, that thing was like, oh shit, and took a right. You know what I mean? It was really, really cool. Yeah, but I kind of know what you guys carry, but like we carry our backpacks and we have a ton of stuff in them. But you guys are more of a survival type of thing, right? So because you guys
carry the basic 10 essentials. Right. If we're squatching and we know we're going to be close to the car, depends on what we're doing, but we're carrying, a map, compass, first aid kit, rain gear, water, something to eat, flashlight or a couple sources of light, not just one. And the knowledge on how to use all of that. If you don't know how to put map and a compass together, it's useless. It makes great fire starter.
Yeah, you're just carrying around rocks if you don't know how to use it.
The first aid kit is great to have, but make sure you break it out of the box and take a class. If you don't know, take a first aid class. Yeah, I'm not downplaying or shaming anybody. You could be saving your neighbor, you could be saving your kid, your mom, your dad. It could be anybody. And it's just that important to me.
Definitely know that stuff.
You don't use usually first aid isn't used on yourself. It's used on somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah, when you
And
don't
it's
want to
always
have
good
to
to
do it.
know.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
when you're out in the back country, you should know it.
do you guys recognize that?
Ernie Davro's critter,
Yeah, it is.
Mr.
Yeah.
Blue Eyes.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear what he did with that?
No.
He
What do you
gave he turned it over to us.
Oh,
wow.
and that's why he's on your
Nice.
site.
All the rights to
Very
his
good,
picture.
Ernie.
Yeah, it was not. It was an honor. He called me up and said, I
Nice.
talked to my wife, and I feel like you guys are the ones to carry this message on. So,
Sweet.
I think it's a great point with this episode, because what I heard is what we all kind of preach around here is, sharing and respecting and being respectful, and that's kind of different than the old way of research. And we all had this conversation before, and one of the catalysts to us being together was we all thought the same way. And if anything you get out of this episode out there and you're researching, man, just because you didn't find it doesn't mean it's not real.
Right.
You know what I mean? So encourage that researcher, high five them. You know what I mean? Like, woohoo, be part of that find by showing your exhilaration for it and not just shitting on people, because that's not going to get us the answers we need. So I love you both. You know that. You guys absolutely rock. I won't hug Tim today though.
Yeah, we can't wait to get the rendezvous going for this year, and working on the festival for next year. At least if I start it now, I'll have plenty of time.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, automatically we're going to be looking at 27 for the festival. It'll be probably mid-September for the festival as well. And we're going to be looking for vendors up and down wherever you're coming from. Get us get a hold of us. We'll have all the links up, and give us a few months and stuff like that. But we're going to have it, so plan ahead.
Yep, get them up early. Get them up early so we can promote for you guys and get this thing out there and get it going. Because it's such an amazing. I just want my cabin back. I don't give a shit about anything else. I want my cabin.
No, you don't get the cabin this year. I get that cabin. I want that cabin.
Don't you start, Jean.
Yeah.
Don't you start.
There you go.
She's trying to pull clout on me. She's like, what? No. I've known them longer, man. These are my boys. These are my rock stars. You came in last, Richie. Yeah.
That first, we did one in 2015.
Yeah, watch this.
And we ended up with whoops and orbs and stuff.
Yeah, we did.
How you like that? Huh? What? We can't hear you back there, Gene. Huh? Yeah. There you go. Whoa. Oh, no, Cat. Will, where'd you come from?
Oh, now she's froze.
She was trying to bring herself in and didn't realize she was in and brought herself back out. Get back here, Gene. All right, I'm leaving. You wrap up your show. I meant that I would show up to the just for the record, when I said that, I meant I would show up. I said, I don't know, I'm feeling cute. I might show up to that festival or whatever that the rendezvous.
Yeah, you didn't say the festival, so I thought you were just going to.
I know. I wasn't trying to invite myself over for dinner, so I just wanted to clarify that.
It's okay, Richie.
Unless it's Eric's house. If it's Eric's house, I'm coming for dinner. I love that wall.
Hey, how about Jessica, General Cryptids there, Jessica Carlozzi?
Yeah.
When is she's doing something in September?
Yeah, September 13th. September 13th. Come down, man. We'll be podcasting from there, and I'm hoping that I get mine. No, it's a Sunday. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Friday the 13th.
No. You're 13.
Yeah, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday afternoon thing. It's nice. It's like 1 to 5. It's not crazy. You be home early. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Miss Jess.
And,
all right. Well, I think we might be heading down to see Jessica on that day.
I would love it, man, because I'm hoping, like I said, I want Big Andy to get there, Denny and Martin, and like our whole crew down there for that day, and just take the place over and be loud. You know what I mean? That's what we do. So having you guys there would be awesome. Cool. And this time, don't pretend you don't know me. I hate when you guys do that. All right, I get it. I get it. My family does that.
Richie who?
What are you talking about?
Oh, I see this. I'm like, wait, what? You can learn the Bigfoot tactics on me. They're in the doorway. Doing this shit. I see you, Vogel.
I'll show you how that elusive.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Maybe Wojo will put on a fire expedition for everybody. I can't wait to watch him twirl things around. Blow it out of his mouth.
Yeah.
You guys have a good night. I'll see you guys later. I'll stop bothering you. Bye,
You
Gene.
too. Later.
Bye.
Gene, you want to kick me out so you feel good?
Yeah, let me hold on. I'll kick you out.
Go ahead, girl. Get it.
Get out of here.
You the
Kick you
boss.
Get out of here.
See ya.
I brought
That's
him back.
awesome. Hey,
Okay,
hey,
I got him
he's
out.
back.
No,
Hey.
It's like a tick.
What did you do? Get your finger off the button. Stan, help us. Stanley. Stanley, help.
Sam, help us.
there we go. I got rid of him. Oh,
Gene, it
my
was
God.
very nice seeing you again. We appreciate
Yes,
having
it
you
was very
having us
nice
on.
seeing you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys agreeing to be my first guest.
Oh,
Excellent.
that's awesome.
And yeah, I will definitely, once you guys get stuff going, I'll post it on my page and I'll post it on the Ghost Cats and Cryptids page as well.
Yep.
If you guys have anything coming up, I'll share away. I think
Sure.
what you guys are doing is awesome. And I appreciate you guys being here. And I'll
We have a
definitely be
lot of
talking to
things.
you again.
We got a lot of things coming up we'd like to talk to you about too.
Yeah, off the record. On a telephone kind of thing.
Yeah. We're gonna have to plan something like that because you had mentioned something like that a while back there with the sightings and stuff that you had gotten and a few other things. So we'll have to try to figure out a like a little conference call.
Very good.
Yeah, right.
We could actually probably do it through Messenger. We can do like a group thing, and then we can do a audio.
Oh, there you go. That's
and
true
stuff
too.
where the
Yeah.
three of us can talk. So I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Sorry I didn't keep up with the comments as good as I probably should have, but this has been really fun getting to hang out with you guys again and stuff. Oh, thank you, Pamela. And good night, Tyler, Sam, all of you. Amazing show. Thank you, Pamela.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming.
And
Thank you all for
yeah, so we
stopping
will
by.
talk soon. If you hold on just a second, I'll see you again here very quickly.
Hey, Richie, tell the beekeeper I said hi.